What is the energy for the collective tomorrow, Tuesday, December 16th, 2025? I pulled one rune to represent the collective energy. And as always with runes, it was a pretty powerful one. I pulled Kano Reversed. So, Kano upright is about the illumination of light. It's about enlightenment. It's about having clarity about a situation in one's life that allows one to move forward in a much more focused and confident way. And it's about sharing that light and moving forward with it. And interestingly, I always pull a rune for myself every day. And today I pulled Kano. But when I pulled a rune for the collective, I pulled Kano reversed. So let's get into what that means for the collective tomorrow, December 16th. So as I sat with the rune and meditated on it, the first thing I saw was the large pyramid in Giza. And it was, as always, so beautiful, so majestic, sitting in this beautiful golden, almost eggplant kind of light. And it represented for me the very essence of Kano reversed because all of its wisdom, all of its light, all of its evolution is so internal. We don't see anything inside the pyramid. It stands in place for thousands of years and we never know what's happening inside. And yet we feel from it this energy, this electricity, this constant evolution of process, right? And so I think that's what we are looking at for the collective tomorrow. Um, it's like a monolith that sits in silence, and that might be what we are asked to do tomorrow. That we allow our incredible light to shine within rather than shining outward. Not because we're choosing to withhold, but because we might not have a choice tomorrow. And in fact, with that, when we do allow our light to shine inward, it shines as brightly as anything possibly could because the power that we have comes from within once we focus on that energy. So that's the energy of Kano reversed. It's it can be a darkening before the day. It can be a cloud coming over a sunlit field. It can be a pulling inward after a moment of joy. It can be a stillness after great electricity and movement. And most of all, it's a call to develop inner stability and to not be tempted by the comfort of old ways of doing things in sacrifice to the new aspect of you that is evolving now. So, in material terms, what does this mean for the collective? It could mean that there is in process starting now, which is the night of 12/15, December 15th. It could be that starting now there is a shedding of an old way of being that no longer serves, and that this darkness that is in the world before this great release can occur is about to be internalized. And maybe this means that political ideologies and allegiances are being set aside tomorrow in some way. That doesn't mean that it's just this group movement towards saying no more sides, but it might just be the beginning of a process for that happening, which would be important, I think, for humanity in the West. And I think just generally, it's not just about Republican, Democrat in the US. It's about any kind of sides that we create. And that seems to be what we do as humans, right? Is create enormous lines between ourselves. And we have to choose which side we're on a fairly regular basis. And when we're able to just ride the line and remain in the middle, then we can find the greatest growth. And I think that's what we're being asked to do tomorrow. Perhaps the deep belief in a certain system is going to go dark in a way tomorrow so that a new system can form. Perhaps this reflects in your personal life, in your relationships. Maybe there is a relationship that is ending or coming to an end or beginning to show the finality of itself. Perhaps that will dissolve tomorrow in some way or begin the dissolution. And while painful, while perhaps not ideal to ourselves on Monday night, perhaps the denial of this dissolution risks losing the opportunity that is being offered to inherit a new way of being. So it feels like there are personal aspects to this rune for the collective that will then be reflected in the collective aspect, if that makes sense. So this rune asks us to be open to the internal processes tomorrow, to shine the light inward. All light, even if it's shining on something that hurts, to shine it inward so that maybe on Wednesday we can bring Kano upright into the world.